Let's do that.
Hello and welcome to the Heresy Lodge. I'm your host, Dylan Cooper, the Constant Coast over here.
Gavin Franklin.
And guys, we're here this week to finish up Red Rising from Pierce Brown. But before we get into that, as always, hit us up on Discord. Find that pinned to our Twitter at Heresy Lodge. Email it's at the Heresy Lodge at gmail.com. Check us out on YouTube at the Heresy Lodge. Buy some merch. It's sick. None of us is wearing it, but Gavin is repping the kick-ass pint glass.
It's really the best piece of merch out there. Like if
It
you had to
is.
get anything, just get a pint glass because it's actually a pretty badass pint glass.
Yeah, I love the pint glass. It's awesome.
My fiance keeps telling me it's non-dishwasherable, but I dishwasher it anyway. It's been fine.
Yeah, I only hand wash it.
I haven't had any. I think there's a big conspiracy out there about everything's not dishwasherable, but I think it all is.
Well, the reason like that wouldn't be is because of like it's essentially a sticker on it.
Right. No, I get it.
Hey man, you do you. If you were in your dishwasher, that's up to you.
I get it. I mean, I don't think the dishwasher can, but I think the cup's going to be ruined, and it hasn't. It looks pristine. Now, we have to say, for legal reasons, not dishwasher safe.
Yes, for legal reasons. I don't think that's up to us. Someone else probably claims that. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Gavin, what are you drinking?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. And I want to preface. Is that the right word? Preface?
Preface?
Preface. Preface. I want to preface this
Preface. I want
episode.
to preface this.
I want to preface this episode, letting y'all know that I am kind of drunk. Mainly because of Dylan Cooper
What?
switching
Oh, that's
around
fair.
the times consistently. Oh man, we're gonna record it this time. Okay, 10 minutes before I'm making a drink. I had to make two drinks because we drink two drinks on the podcast. Text
That's
me,
fair.
I ain't gonna make it at that time. We had to do it later. So now I'm like 3.5 drinks in, and they're pretty strong drinks.
Yeah, so what are they?
Okay, so cool story. Cool story about
The
this.
coolest story.
So we went to Gen Con, if for those of you have not been following along. And my mother also goes to Gen Con. My family's like huge nerds. Like every one of my family, all of her friends go to Gen Con. Um, and she went to, I don't know if anyone's heard about this, but there was like the 50th or 100th anniversary or 50th anniversary of D&D. 100 seems
Yeah,
like a
they
lot.
released like a whole
50th.
new like rule set.
Yeah. And so they had a big event and a bunch of people were a bunch of famous like Brandon Lee Mulligan was there. They were doing like
Whoever that is.
yeah, he's from like College Humor. You know the guy. The Sauron, but it's Donald Trump guy. These people.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, that guy. He's a DM. He does a whole DM podcast. But anyway, she went there. It was a huge event and they were giving away, I mean, it was like super catered and they had all these drinks, all this stuff, and they were giving away for free cocktail books.
Oh, that's
And I'm
cool.
talking like
That's a thick one.
books.
Damn. Why didn't we
And
get the invite to
I know
that?
it's called Punchions and Flagons is the name of the book. And dude, it's fucking awesome. Like every single every page has like a story about the cocktail in the D&D universe and you get to like a cocktail. So this one is for vodka, so it talks about the areas and the realms that drink vodka in the D&D universe,
That's fucking cool.
and it's fucking sick. So today I am drinking a rum drink, and it is called the party drink. What did I send you? What's it called?
Uh,
The Celebration Brew is what it's called.
that's it.
And it is a weird fucking drink. So this drink is what you do is you mix rum, orange juice, triple sec, lemon juice, shake it up, pour it out. You put ice in it so it's chilled. And then you pour a lager into it. Now, I think that's a really dumb recipe because everything is a lager. So I have Miller Lite, which I know everyone says is a Pilsner, but Pilsners are lagers. Look it up. It's a real thing. I think it's actually probably the best beer to mix with this because it's light. I think a dark beer would be rough. Um, and I was so confused. I drank this drink. I was confused. I drank it and I was like, do I don't let me hmm, I don't it took me a long time. Basically what I settled
It
on,
took 2.5, but now it's great.
yeah, basically what I settled on is like they advertise it in the book as a rum beer. I was like,
Hmm,
there's no such thing as a rum beer. And as I kept drinking it, I was like, it just tastes like a really fucking good beer.
yeah,
Like it's a like if I were to bottle this and sell it as a beer, the ABV would be insane, but it would be really good. You think of like high ABV beers, and they're normally dark. They normally taste
heavy
terrible,
as fuck.
super heavy. This would be a high ABV beer, but it's like almost like a blue moon
Hmm.
taste. Yeah, it's
What rum did you
interesting.
use?
I just use Kraken,
Hmm,
some dark rum. Yeah, it calls for dark rum, not like coconut.
yeah,
So it's high ABV rum. So you drink one of these, and it's kind of like it's close to 2.5 drinks of just like 2.5 cans of Miller, basically. And it doesn't taste like it at all. Like you would think like this may just be like a little higher than 1 Miller. Um, God, it's fucking good though. It is. After
nice,
a while, you're like, this is just a great beer.
nice. I am drinking a limoncello margarita. It is
Ooh,
tequila, limoncello, some lime, some simple syrup, a little bit of shit, what's that shit called? Oh man, it's gonna drive me nuts. Oh, amaretto.
the amaretto. You know what pisses me off when I go through books like these? It's like some of the shit that they'll have in the ingredients. I'm like, how the fuck?
Oh, and also have a blue moon for whatever this runs out.
This says, okay, here's like an example. Hold up. This is like okay, 2 teaspoons of almond, cashew, or peanut butter, 3 ounces of vodka, 3 ounces of dark cream. This is actually one I could have made. So this is not a good example.
God, fuck.
Ah, shit. Okay, here we go. Oh, this one looks terrible. Hold up. So a lot of these, so what's interesting about this book is it will actually give you like a serves six, serves like they give
Yeah,
like party drinks, which I have never seen in a cocktail book before.
I have the one I have has that. Most of it are singles, but then there's like one that's like serves 20. I was like, what the fuck?
Sign me up.
Yeah, I
This
count as
one,
20.
this one says the Emerald Door. Okay, okay, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Okay, let me, as well do. Let me flip to what I'm drinking. Okay, and I'll give you the description because they do like crazy descriptions over these things. See if I can find it. I think it's like right here. I'm so close. So close, Dylan.
I believe it.
Wow. It's got here. It's like right here. I swear to God. Here it is. Celebration Brew. This is the description that they give. Okay, so we do have a description. And here's the picture. It's a picture of a halfling, maybe dwarf, just passed the fuck out on a table, which I get. This frothy blend of rum, beer, and citrus came from Baldur's Gate with the dwarven diaspora moving from the mountains to the city. Diaspora. Is that the right Diaspora?
Sure.
A traditional dwarven drink, beloved for its golden hue. It feels like a bucket of sunshine in the dingy dark of the underground world, and its popularity has not waned in the new above ground grayness of the city. And I'm gonna be honest with you, when I drank this is gonna sound so nerdy. I'm about to get into some nerd shit. It reminded me there was a quest line in World of Warcraft where you had to
God
make a
damn it.
beer for this dwarf. And every time he kept drinking, he's like, nah, this shit ain't it. This shit ain't it. So he had to keep going back. And when he got the right one, he like fell on his ass. He was like, that's the one. That's what I thought of. So it makes sense. Celebration Brew is not tied to any specific event in dwarven culture. On the contrary, dwarves will order this drink to commemorate anything at all. Discovered a new gold deposit? That's cause for celebration. Have a new baby. That's cause for celebration. Lost a shoe. That's cause for celebration. The drink is also known as liquid courage because there are times when everything is grim and hope is hard to come by. On occasion, when there is nothing to celebrate, well, that's when you need some liquid courage to get you through. Any other circumstances, cause for celebration. So it's just like drink it all the time. So cool
Hell yeah,
book.
brother.
If you find, I would highly recommend if you're like a big cocktail fan and a nerd, Puncheons and Flagons. This is a cool ass book. Super cool.
Cool.
So let's see that. What's the margarita glass you're drinking from? Let me see that again.
That's actually a martini glass.
What's the stem look like? Is it like is that one of the waggly stems? A straight stem? Hmm. That's a fancy martini glass. Anyone watching on YouTube, what you'll see behind Dylan is a something hanging on the wall, some nice candles on the stand back there, a ladder that goes to nowhere.
A
All
blanket
of
ladder.
this, all of this is the beautiful architecture of Dylan's wife, and she is a decorator, dude. It
I don't
looks
think
good.
architecture is the word you're looking for there.
The beautiful, I would say so. It's the architecture of your. I mean, it's beautiful. She does a great job.
Yeah, real interior designer, that one.
Yeah, it's kind of impressive. Dylan, when I lived with him, he had a picture of a bunch of villains playing poker on his wall.
Yep,
Yeah, that was negotiated out of the architecture.
it was. It is actually in the storage room here in the basement.
Hmm. Classic.
All right,
So
Red Rising. Before we get into the whole part of the institute where we're at, before we kind of talk about the Sons of Ares, that's what Darrow fell into. Yada yada yada. Two questions for you. One, is Ares a person?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think Aries is a concept.
Maybe, but like I feel like it's just like some like made up bullshit.
Or
But
like an
if
AI.
maybe if Ares is a person, are they a gold? I feel
I
like if
feel
they
like
are a person, they were gold.
yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that. If it is any person, it would be a gold. And it would just
Because I mean, we
obviously.
know everyone else is too stupid,
Yeah.
essentially,
Yeah.
except for
Mm.
Darrow, because he's just randomly super smart.
I'd be really interested in Pierce Brown to throw us like a crazy fucking loop here. Not that they're gold. Like imagine it being like
Io never died. She was Ares the whole time.
yeah, like some crazy shit like that. But yeah,
That'd be interesting.
I'd say if Aries is a person, I would say they are gold.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. I can't imagine it being someone else. I
But
feel like it's like a
it's
good.
either they're a gold or they're not a person, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I'm in the same boat because I imagine it's someone that like wants to just take over society.
And I would
Just
imagine
using
like if it's a gold, it's somebody we've already met.
yes, I agree.
Like or like someone related to someone we already met. Like a
Yeah,
parent. Like like if I had to guess, I would say it would be like, oh shit, Rourke, or and that's a child, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. Let me think through this. Hmm. Like if we knew Aries, who would be Aries? Like if we had already seen Aries in the book.
we already saw them, or if it was a parent of someone we met, I could see it being like, hmm,
My first instinct, you know who this is? My first instinct would be what is the girl's name? That Antonia. Is that
she's
her
kind of a
name?
crazy bitch. Yeah,
She's crazy. And I feel like maybe there's some like deep stuff in there. You know what I mean? I'm interested to understand her family a bit more. The
Yeah,
Rage Knight is another one that I think is like weirdly on my radar.
yeah, I agree with that one too.
The Rage Knight. And then I don't think it's a Bologna.
I don't think so either. How funny would it be if it was fucking like Finkner? Like this just like random like fat dickhead who's a proctor is actually Aries.
Yeah, like that's another one. That would be my third guess. My fourth guess doesn't come along till the second book. And I don't think this is right at all. But the like advisory guy to the head of
Oh,
Mars.
yeah, but he's a fucking dick.
Or it'd be either him or the guy that comes in as like the Lance, the dude that's in I don't remember his name.
Leto?
Yes. So I don't know. I'd honestly, if like Ares gets introduced as a person, I would be disappointed if it wasn't somebody within the radius of the first book or second book. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like it has to be, right?
Yeah.
Like if you really want like that like type of like suspense or like plot twist, that's what you do. You make it a character you already know.
Or like a character very related to someone you already know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Dancer's father. Turns out Dancer was a gold the whole time.
Or it could be, oh, here's another Daro's uncle,
Oh yeah, Uncle Nero.
Uncle Nero. That's a, I think probably not, but
Probably not, but hey, maybe.
maybe.
You taught Daro how to dance, which is apparently the same thing as fighting, which is the most confusing thing in a while.
Which makes no sense, Pierce. Come on.
You gotta get on your tippy toes and spin. What don't you get? Do the
So
worm.
so we just moved on from illiterate Daro, and now he's literate.
He's very literate.
You may think so. And they get to the institute, and of course, like, duh, in order for society to prevail, the first thing you have to do in the elite class is kill half of each other.
Yeah, I think this is where we ended. I think we finished right after saying that Darrow had to kill Julian.
Yeah, kills Julian, kills oh man, what's his face? What's the guy's what's his brother's name?
Cassius?
Cassius. Yes. And I love Cassius as a character. And Cassius is like one of the only other golds you know at this time.
Yeah.
And then of course, like, duh, like guys, we're making a perfect society here. So let's think about it. Let's be real. What do you have to do after that? Clearly, you have to take your elite, make them organize themselves into houses, like Hogwarts houses, and then they have to conquer each other's castles and turn each other's into slaves. Like that's how it works. Duh, like clearly. And
Yeah,
whoever
that's
rises
how
on
else you learn how to
top,
fight.
yeah, duh.
And like each house is like its own thing. Like Mars is like, all right, that's the shithole. It's like Jupiter, you get food. Pluto, you get bitches. This place, they get weapons.
First off, crazy concept. Like, like, what does this mean? Like, does this just mean that House Mars is just shit?
Which doesn't make sense because like Augustus is like the ruler of Mars. So like and they're on Mars. So you would figure that would be like the one that is
Completely
most loved.
irrelevant. Completely
Yeah.
irrelevant. The planet you're on. So here's another thing that's confusing. The planets are named after the is it Roman gods?
Greek.
Are you
Yeah,
sure?
because yeah, because I mean Ares is a Greek god.
No, Ares is the Greek god, but the society is based off the Roman gods.
Oh, is
So
it?
Mars, yeah, Mars is the Roman equivalent of Ares. That's why Ares did their whole thing because they
Roman
they named themselves
gods.
Ares.
Yes, you're right. Yeah,
So
Apollo, Ceres, Mars.
so all the planets are named after Roman gods like years ago, like like before us. And then they were like, let's name our houses after Roman gods on the planet Mars, but also across. What's also confusing me? Can you explain this? Are they doing the same thing on other planets?
I don't know if there's multiple institutes or not.
It kind of seemed to me like there was.
Maybe, but like in like the second book, right? Like they get sent to other planets. So like if they're being schooled at Mars, wouldn't they be building Mars's army? Instead, they're like,
Mm.
nah, see you later. You're gonna go to Pluto. You're gonna go to the moon. You're
I
gonna go
think
suck my dick in space.
from what I understood, there are multiple institutes
Yeah, maybe.
on each planet. Maybe we figure that out. Maybe we don't. But they have to now conquer each other's castles. And the whole concept of this just blows. So, okay, the as they're like, how many people started in the castle? Like each house had after they killed half of their house because they had to.
I don't remember.
Was it? It's either 50 or 100. Like they either
I think it's
started out with a
50.
yeah, so 50 people. There's like a point where like a house is fighting another house, and we're like, yeah, we have 400 slaves. I'm like, I'm doing the math. How work? That's every house. It's slaved.
Yes. Numbers aren't real.
The
Numbers are
num
never real.
This is Warhammer all over again. It doesn't matter how many people you've killed. It doesn't matter logistics of
Always
what
at
you
least
started
5
with.
times that.
It's like whatever you want, numbers aren't a thing. Because like I remember looking at this, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I agree with you. I'm pretty sure they start with 100, they kill half of them, and there's like 8 houses. It's 400 people. And then we get
Yeah,
to
let's
one
see. I
part where
have the
it's like,
Roman gods up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's only 5. Oh, maybe
I think there's
6.
8.
Minerva. Is
Yep.
Diana on there?
Yep.
Pluto,
Yep.
Apollo,
Yep.
Mercury,
Yep.
Mars,
Yep.
Jupiter.
Yep. There's one more.
I mean, there's several gods. Oh,
Vulcan.
Ceres.
Vulcan.
Oh yeah, yeah, Vulcan.
Got hey, we always forget. It's always Vulcan. Everyone forgets
Oh,
Vulcan.
damn it!
Classic.
Warhammer never gets away from us.
Classic. Everyone forgets about Vulcan.
I don't even know who the fucking god Vulcan even is.
So there's 8 houses. So there's either 800 people or 400 people. But I remember at one point they're like, this house is 450 people strong. Like that's over half at least. Like at the worst case
Yeah,
scenario, those guys have
they are
won.
strong.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was just like a regular fighting force, and I'm like, I don't know if Pierce Brown's got his numbers right here. I feel like you've got a pretty easy calculation ahead of you. Um, but anyway, we're like super digressing. They get into this house, and immediately, like they're in a canyon, and the whole objective is like you're in a castle. You have to conquer all the other castles. You have to be the last house standing. And weirdly, this is so strange to me. They're like, oh, how do we defeat the other houses? Do we kill them? No, you enslave them. What? Like, what a weird concept. And like the idea,
Well, to be fair, at least if you're enslaving them, they're not dying, right? Like you're not hurting your old population even more. But it's also not against the rules to kill. So it's also like, does it matter?
yeah, and but it also talks about how like the slaves are completely worthless. Like they don't like,
It depends, right? Like it's
yeah,
as much they're as helpful as they want to be.
yeah. And it's like the idea of like you're enslaved and you don't follow orders, you're like shunned from society. But there's
Yeah.
multiple parts throughout this where like somebody will like backwards convince a slave that like over like You know what I mean? Like, oh, if you do this, then you're not really denying your master's orders. You're just fucking them over without them knowing they're being fucked over. And it's like, what is happening? Like what a weird ass
To be
game.
fair, yeah, right. Like you have like the when later with Darrow when he does
Yeah.
that convincing, it's like he's not wrong.
Yeah,
And if
exactly.
I was a slave, I'd be like, I don't give a fuck, sure, dude.
Yeah. So they get in there and Darrow's a part of House Mars and immediately they have just like infighting. And this is it's a really interesting part because they break themselves up into three camps. And you have Titus, who's like the dude in charge, but he doesn't know how to make a fire, which I'm like, look, like
He's just a fucking brute.
if I had 3 months, I'd figure out how to make a fucking fire. I would have fucking Neanderthal that shit
Yeah,
accelerated.
I had to be rubbing so many fucking sticks together.
Yeah. And then uh Servo, who is basically Savitar.
He's so fucking. He's just like, man, fuck this shit. Like, I'm gonna go bounce. I'm gonna go fucking kill wolves, wear them, and eat them.
Yeah, he turns into a furry though. That's the one thing that just like he's like Savitar, but a space wolf.
I mean, he's not fucking the animals.
Do we know that? He howls a lot.
It's just the thing, man. You,
At one point, they walk into a battle with wolves, like legitimate wolves.
I do not remember that.
Yeah, no, it happens. Like they bring like actual wolves into battle.
I do not recall that at
Yeah, they
all.
tame wolves. It's when they go to battle with not yeah, Minerva. They go to battle with Minerva. They bring wolves into the battle. I'm like, what the fuck?
They're dressed as wolves.
No,
I
yeah, no,
don't
they
think there
brought
are
wolves.
live. I want the evidence on this one.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you what. Every time you've challenged me, I've been right. Every
I
time.
That is not true.
It's true. Every time. Every single time.
No,
I'm letting you
no.
know right now, they were fucking wolves. There was a whole
I
chapter.
do not think
There
there
was a
was. I
whole
want the proof.
I bought the extended edition. There was a whole chapter where they were fucking wolves.
That was your handwritten fan fiction, all right. You left it at
I,
my house. It was weird, but
yeah,
slightly erotic.
I really enjoyed that part. But yeah, so they go the first infighting part, they break themselves really into three camps. You got the camp of Titus, well, four. You got the camp of Titus, who's just like the brutes, they don't know anything, they're just monstrosity beings. You've got the camp of Darrow, which is also Cassius's camp. Like the leadership hasn't really been determined at that camp at the time. And all the people within the camp, they're the smart people. They're the number one of recruited people, except for Antonia. Is that her name?
Yeah,
I don't fucking get Antonia. I thought she was
I
gonna
don't
play
either.
a more interesting role, but she just continues to be an idiot.
She's just a bitch. I
She
don't
is
understand her at all. I mean, she's still a bitch in the second book.
nonsensically.
Yeah, like I don't understand like what her deal is at all.
She's just like, you know
Her
what?
sister's cool though.
Her sister's cool. And everyone's like, hey, why are you like weirdly aggressive about everything? She's the person,
Yeah,
she's like, you know what? You guys are breaking apart, forming your own dynasties. I'm gonna form my own. For no and like I'm confused about who went with her. Like if I'm in this camp, I'd be like, Titus or Darrow are the only two options.
yeah.
Antonia's bringing nothing to the table.
No, not at all. And Titus is kind of nuts. I like you just pick Darrow because
You
he's
would
the
just
only
pick
one that's like
Darrow.
fucking normal.
Yeah, 100%.
Also, he can start fires. That's also pretty fucking nice.
Yeah, and then you have your fourth camp, which is Servo. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Servo is 100% the best character in these books
Oh, yes, he's great.
by a lot.
He's just snarky. He's fucking hilarious. He's a
He
badass.
he's a badass and he knows it.
Yeah.
And
And he's not
society,
supposed to be a badass.
yeah, society doesn't think he's a badass, so he's like, "Fuck you guys." And even though he's a furry,
Debatable. There's definitely no tamed fucking wolves. I can tell you that.
I'll find the passage.
Yeah, you look for it. And I'll ask Raptor too. I know he's listening. Raptor, tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm like 95% sure I'm not wrong here.
They tamed some wolves. Yeah, Servo got back there. He's like, "Listen, bitches, watch your back
I'll show you doggy style.
now. You fight for me now."
On the alpha.
Yeah, yeah, he showed him. But so he's off on his own. No one knows where he goes. He can start fires, and I think it's hilarious because they do this whole thing where like Titus is like, "I'm gonna send people to follow Servo to capture him." They never could. No one knows this dude is
Yeah, the
dead
only person I knew was Quinn.
because he was fucking Quinn.
At least wants to.
Oh no, Quinn wanted to fuck Servo, and Servo's like, "If you wear this furry outfit,
I don't know why you're so obsessed with him being a furry.
they're literally wearing wolf, and they howl. That's a
It's
furry
a
thing.
battle cry, man.
That's a furry thing to do. If I'm ever in a battle and I hear my guys howl, I'm like, "Yo, guys, like maybe just yell." Ah.
Yeah, that's our war call right there.
I'm gonna be
That's
honest with you. You kept cutting out. It was like, oh, oh, oh.
it's probably my headphones being like, nah, dude, we're not doing
That's
that.
too loud. They were not sending that through. No, I think Servo might be a furry. I'm actually very certain of it. But anyway,
So I feel there's a lot of projecting happening.
like for myself,
Yes.
oh, I'm a huge furry dude.
Oh, I know. I've seen the tail.
Oh yeah, I bought 3 of them at Gen Con. I was really upset they didn't sell them with butt plugs.
Honestly, I'm very surprised by the lack of tails I saw this year at Gen Con.
Yeah, me too.
Last year there was a lot.
I think. Well, okay, actually, I was going through the hall at one point when I was alone, like right outside the hall, like like the biggest thoroughway right there, right?
Yeah.
Like Georgia Street, you walk in, there's like that huge hallway, 20, all dudes, no girls,
Hell
all
yeah.
dudes wearing fur masks, just like wolf masks. I'm like, man, if Dylan was here,
Man, I'm at home.
he would join them.
Goddamn right I would.
Yeah, you would.
Anyway,
So, basically, what ends up happening is Titus just like starts capturing Diana slaves and is like raping them. He's
yeah,
raping
just
these
beating them
slaves.
and raping them.
Yeah, it's like what?
Yeah, it's kind of
I
a
mean,
lot.
it's a lot. And then everyone's like, "Hey, that's kind of fucked up." Mustang, who is from Minerva, also a great character.
Yep.
Love Mustang as a character. Um, she eventually takes over Mars. The only 2 people she doesn't account for, 3 people she doesn't account for is Cassius, Darrow, and Servo. Now, I'm very positive Servo could have probably killed everybody in this entire.
Yeah, there's not one person who I'd maybe Pax.
Maybe Pax, yeah. And Pax is with Minerva. She's
Yeah,
he's with Mustang.
the Stang.
Yeah, the Stang. And basically the Minerva people, they surround Cassius and Darrow in a lake, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go take over." But this whole thing was a trap. It's actually very intricate.
Yeah.
They get captured, and then they have Rourke, who's also an awesome character. The
Mm.
poet guy,
Oh, Roke.
great. Rourke, yeah, he fucking
Roke.
great character. He is like the dude that you should always listen to.
Yeah.
Like everything he says is like this dude should, like, if I had to pick a king out of all the people, that would be the guy.
Yeah. He's just smart and chill.
Smart and chill. So he goes and lights a fire by Mars. So all the Mercury people, or not Mercury, I'm sorry, um,
Minerva.
Minerva are like, "Oh, there's Mars. Let's go overtake him." Let's leave a couple people behind at the lake. Servo takes him out, rescues Cassius, rescues Darrow, and they're like, I don't know why you did that. And Servo's like, I think you guys are kind of cool. So, I'm kind of here to do this. And they took like the strategy is insane in this game. They took Minerva's standard by like lying about who they were. They negotiated the standard with Mustang at the castle, but first Darrow had to fight Pax, busted his nuts literally in the
He
fight.
did just fucking like kneed him in the nuts like 15 times until
Yeah,
Pax passed out.
and but from that time, he was the ipso factor. He was the leader. He was the leader at the
Yeah.
time. And then it became like a very much everything's going really well for us.
Yeah. They're
It,
just conquering shit,
they
winning
took
every battle.
over. They took over Mustangs. They took over
Yep.
Minerva's house, using another house that betrayed them, but they knew they were going to betray them. It was kind of fucking metal.
Yeah, it was.
They hid all of the wolf people, all the furries, inside of horse
Dead cows
stomachs,
or horses. Yeah, dead horses and sewed them up.
sewed them up overnight. And Mustang thought, oh, here's Mars coming to invade us. She didn't account that Diana, was it Diana? Not Diana. It was,
I think you're right.
no, it was another one. It
Was
was
it
another one.
Ceres?
I don't remember who it was. It wasn't Diana.
Ceres, maybe.
No, maybe.
It's definitely not Apollo. It's
It's
definitely not
not
Jupiter.
Aries. It's not Apollo. It's not Jupiter. It's another house. It wasn't Vulcan. Some other house that were living in the trees. Tree people.
Tree
And
people.
yeah, that's what they did. They were like, they went to go negotiate with them. They're like, hey, let's go conquer Minerva together. And they're like, we have you in the trees. And I was like, yeah, I mean, you do, but what are you going to do
Yeah, I
about
think it's
that?
Ceres. Ceres
Ceres.
is the
Yeah, you're
goddess
right.
of
Trees.
nourishment and protection.
That makes sense.
Oh, here we go. In both Greece and Rome, she was the goddess of grain and agriculture.
Greece and Rome. This is a combo.
Yep.
Ceres is the answer.
Aries.
Anyway, they take over Minerva together. Darrow totally predicts the betrayal, fucks them up, takes
Yep.
over two houses in once. He's ruling it, doing well. But there's another enemy on the line, the Jackal in the south. So the way I have to understand is we got four houses on the north side, four houses on the south side. They're separated by this giant river. No one's invading each other. There's word of the Jackal, and we come to find out the Jackal is what's his face's son.
Uh, Benola.
Augustus?
No,
No.
Augustus is Mars. Oh yeah,
No,
no,
no.
you're right. You're right. Yeah, yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Caesar.
Augustus
Yeah,
is.
Augustus is Mars, and that's the dude that Dara's like, I gotta fucking kill this guy. Turns out it's his son. He's like the Jackal's making headway, and during this time, the Jackal sends some like person and gives a
Random
note.
bitch.
Yeah, some note to Cassius, and is like, hey, the Jackal wants you on his side. Cassius is like, I don't fucking yada yada. Then Cassius finds out that Darrow killed his brother. Now, look, here Cassius is such a bitch, dude.
He really is. Like, I don't understand this like little like
Such a
blood feud.
bitch.
Like, what had to be done. Like,
Yeah.
wait, was Dara supposed to just let himself get killed?
Yeah, what the fuck?
No.
Like the way this shit is the way this shit should have went is like, hey, I'm really upset you killed my brother, but I understand you had to because of the way our fucked up society is. Let's fucking fix that.
Yeah.
Problem solved. And Cassius was that person. It's in my opinion, this is a little bit of an inconsistency of writing because I think Cassius was smart prior to this moment.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't understand like but he's like super prideful. But like you're right. He's smart. He was the guy. Like he knew what was going to happen. Like yes, like he can be upset or whatever,
Everyone
but
knew. His whole
yeah,
family knew. He talked about his whole family knew. And
yeah,
now he's upset. It's like, oh, you're the one that killed him. If anything, I would have been like, I'm glad you're the one that killed him and not Servo. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And not some other person that probably delighted. The fact that they gave him a hollow like video recording of it happening. And Dara would be like, yeah, I cried for 40 minutes after that happened.
yeah. Also, like, how do you know that shit's not like edited?
For real. Yeah.
Like that's a like something I want to talk about for the next book. But like everyone just seems to believe these videos that we know can be edited.
Yeah. So Dara gets a shit beat out of him by Cassius. In my opinion, the weakest point of this book is like Cassius's character flaw. I think it's one of the strangest things, and I hope it gets overcome. I would feel very good if later Cassius and Daro are good friends again. If that doesn't happen, I'm gonna be really annoyed because I'm like, what a weird character that was created in the concept of Cassius. But he's dying because Cassius beats the shit out of him because Cassius is like an amazing dueler of swords or whatever it is. He gets fined by Mercedes, who's the only person that he let live
Not
from
Mercedes.
Mustang.
Mustang.
Yeah,
Like who
whatever.
the fuck is Mercedes?
Only person to live. They this is like so fucking Hunger Games. They get in a cave together and nurse each other back to health. Like that is literally from the fucking Hunger Games. And
Yeah.
they just kind of realize that like, oh, the way to win is to get slaves, but not slaves, to convince slaves that they're not fighting for you, which is like a huge, like weird loophole in the game. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, how does that work? Like, in my opinion, if I'm laying out rules for the game, Mustang won.
Basically, yes.
Yeah, but it's weird. So Daro's like, yeah, we got to convince these slaves to like be slaves, but not
Well,
be slaves.
Mustang says that.
Yeah, but Daro's like, I get it.
Yeah.
So he starts conquering a bunch of people alone from his wilderness in the woods, and he grows an army. He beats pretty much everyone but Mars on the north side, and he goes to the south side. He takes out Apollo, and the whole time, I mean, this is really rushed. If it
The
sounds like a
Apollo
rush,
thing's fucking cool.
yeah, he just like breaks up ice on the river and has the horses charge across the river, and they sink into the river. A bunch of people die.
No, that was a different one. Apollo is the one when he
Mm.
killed Apollo.
Yes. So
The
Apollo keeps like there's like a group of people who are like
proctor.
the proctors, and each there's one for each house. And the concept is the proctors have to leave when their house loses. And this was told to Daro by the proctor of Mars. What's his name?
Igner.
Ignorant. Yeah. Great guy. Love the character.
Yeah, he's just wacky.
And basically what happens is Apollo attempts to literally kill Dar. And I love the personification of all this because like Apollo literally seems like Apollo, like the god of
Yeah.
this game. So it's like the concept is like Daro is killing a god.
Yeah.
So Apollo attempts to kill him multiple times. You never learn Apollo's name. It's literally
Mm.
just Apollo.
Yeah.
Well done, Pierce Brown.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, he like
And
he tries to kill him with a
bear.
literally tries to trap him with a bear. And then somehow Dara survives that encounter and falls into a trap. And it's fucking Severo's trap. And Severo's like, "What's up, bitch?"
Yeah, because a big important thing about this is like Mars, the House of Mars is not Daro's anymore. It's all gone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Cassius has won
Cassius's
it.
minus Severo.
And then Severo, I keep calling him
Severo.
Servo.
I know. You can't fucking
Sevatar,
win.
Sevatar was like, I'm not about that shit. I'm just gonna go off on my own. Attempts to kill the jackal.
Yeah.
And like some weird shit happened. It didn't work out.
Yeah, he got stabbed in the eye.
I don't know how that happened. I think Savitar could kill anyone in this entire
Agreed.
lore. But anyway, Apollo tries to intercept, gets caught by Severo, and it's honestly like one of the coolest things ever because Apollo attempts to convince everyone in Daro's party, like, hey, this is just a game. Stop fucking around. He's gonna fucking if anyone's winning, it's Mustang, yada yada yada. And he comes down with wine. It's one of the coolest scenes ever. Comes down with wine, and he's like, any of you want it? And no one takes it except for Severo. He's like, yeah, I'll take your wine. Drinks it all. He's like, I gotta go piss. Paul's like, well, whatever, yada yada. But they're under a barrier to where they can't hear anything outside the barrier.
Yeah, outside or inside.
Yeah. And then they just like Apollo just keeps like shit talking Daro to all these people. And he's trying to convince them to not be on Daro's side. And then probably one of the coolest moments I've read and like ever, like one of the coolest moments ever. Daro's like, how long did Severo say he could get to the castle? 2 minutes?
Then it was
Yeah,
like,
it's
how fast can Severo run 3 kilometers? And Mustang's
he's,
like, he said like a minute and a half,
it's like, oh,
but he was probably lying.
it's been two. So yeah, what do you say we close these shields, Apollo? Apollo's like, what are you talking about? Close the shields. His castle's gone. He got fucked up. He thought the dude was going piss. You fucking destroyed
Just
it.
fucking sprints and he's like, I'm gonna
Oh
fucking
my
kill
god.
everybody.
So it took out Apollo, and then there was another just awesome moment where after they took out Apollo, you had Garo or Daro. I said Garo. Man,
Jesus.
Warhammer is on my mind, dude. Dara was like, "Hey, we have to go take Jupiter." Was it not Jupiter? Yeah, it was Jupiter. So they wind up at Jupiter, and everyone's confused. Every single person is confused because they're like, Why are we just bouncing around all these places?"
Yeah.
They wind up at Jupiter, and there's this kid there. He's like, "Oh yeah, take Jupiter. We're so starved to death. Give us food, and we'll take Jupiter." We're like, "Great." And there's this whole shenanigans play that goes on where Daro pretends to be drunk because the new Jupitorians.
Yeah, because they raided like several shacks and that was like grape juice. And
Mm-hmm.
Sever was pissed about it because it wasn't wine.
So they pretended to be drunk, and all the new Jupitorians, try to take advantage. So Daro was talking to this kid that had surrendered to him. And this is actually a really cool concept that Daro had thought of. When the
Yeah.
kid, everyone's wearing a ring of their house, and when the kid came up, the ring was loose, and just the way the person was talking manipulative. Daro pretended to be drunk, and in a moment of conversation, a moment of perceived weakness, Daro took his knife and stabbed it into the kid's hand.
Yeah,
He's like,
so far through his hand and pinned him to the fucking table.
yeah. He's like, you're the jackal. Turns out that was the jackal. That was the. I was literally when I got to this point, I was like looking at the rest of because I'm reading it physically. I'm sure you're
Yeah,
audio booking it, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So reading it physically, I'm like, there's like this much left of the book. I'm like, how the fuck is he gonna conquer all these other houses in this time? I like looked ahead. I'm like, the next chapter is the jackal. Like, how the fuck? Like, that's so quick. Turns out the jackal had already conquered that house. And great conversation. The jackal is a character. The jackal is a
He's
fucking
fucking
character.
nuts.
The dude is insane. Mad respect for the guy though.
Yeah. Yeah, it talks about like he got his name because like they were in some tunnels that collapsed. They just fucking ate each other.
The jackal is like, we're gonna eat that guy because I'm hungry. And like he's talking to Dara about this, and the jackal's like, yeah, it fucking happens. Like, who gives a shit?
Like, bro, I was fucking hungry.
And you know, it's so true though. Like, think about this. Like, you could fucking flip this. Like, this is what I do love this about books like this, is it makes you think about so many concepts. Where the Jackal's like, I ate people. Who gives a shit? You know, like,
Yeah,
oh, that's fucked up. But then you also look at Darrow, where he's like, I killed Julian. Who gives a shit? I had to. So there's
yeah,
this like concept of like, I have to. And if you have to, does that make you a bad guy?
yeah. That's fair. And I mean, you're right. Like,
Like,
what else was he supposed to do? Starve to death?
yeah, like who is Darrow to judge this fucking guy? He killed a person. Darrow killed a person. He would have
Yeah,
killed the next person. If they put him in another jail cell and said, oh, you only one, he would have killed another person. How,
yep,
like, it would have been the same fucking thing. So, like, how dare Darrow judge this guy? And what's insane? This is what's insane about it. Darrow traps his hand and he goes, all right, uh, you're not as good as me. You won't get yourself out of this trap. And Jackal says, well, fucking watch me. Cuts his hand off.
yeah. Dara's like, if you cut your hand off, you can go. And Jack was like, all right.
Cuts his hand off. And I'm like, wait a
He's like
fucking minute.
sawing at it. See, like he's at the bone, and Pax is like, I can't fucking watch this. This is fucking gross. Here's a sword.
Everyone like doesn't we haven't talked about Pax. Pax is a person that was in House Minerva. He's the dude that got busted his balls by Darrow.
Yeah,
After Darrow reconquered a portion of Mars, Pax came into Darrow's care and they were like best buds.
yeah.
And he's an
Pax is
idiot.
such a great fucking character.
He's an idiot. And what blows my mind about this is like, dude, how did he pass the test?
He's very big.
He's so stupid. He could catch balls
He,
so fast. Like
that's all
they
that
came to him
matters.
like, bro, like he failed every question, but the dude is so fast.
He's so big.
He's so big. Like you should see his cock. It's insane. But then after the trials, like, yeah, his cock's worthless now.
But he's fucking huge. But yeah, he like gives him the sword to like finish cutting him off. And like as that's happening, the proctors finally show up because they're all being bribed. We didn't talk about this. They're being bribed by
That's true.
Augustus to help the Jackal win. They throw in like
Because everyone's gonna get a better representation in court or whatever it is. They're gonna get promoted if they get the Jackal to win, who is Augustus's son.
yeah, and they throw in like was it like a flashbang or like some
I
like gravity bomb? Like it
yeah,
like
something
shot
like
like
that.
it wasn't like a
Yes.
full grenade, but it was some shit that shot up across the room.
Yeah.
Like threw that in there, and like Pax goes to like cover up Darrow, and the Jackal just like
Cuts
the
his
fucking
throat.
robot. Yeah, then he just stabs it a bunch of times, and he like falls on top of Darrow to protect him.
Damn. I'm not gonna lie, like there are four characters that I hope really emerge as like the end game like heroes. Darrow. And I don't even care that much about Darrow. I'm okay with Darrow becomes the bad guy. I think that'd be cool.
I mean, who is even the bad guy right now?
Exactly. I'd love to see the fucking oh god, I'm thinking the Reaper, that's not his name. What's his name? The Jackal. I'd love to see the Jackal emerge as like a weird anti-hero.
Yeah, I can see that.
Cassius emerging as a hero. I'm almost getting like this Lucius Malfoy concept from Cassius. And I always wanted Lucius Malfoy to like redeem himself, but it never happened in Harry Potter. And I think it was a mistake
It kind of did.
to very low degrees.
Yes.
But I'm hoping that like I think it's gonna be nuts because I almost guarantee this is my prediction. Severo sacrifices himself in some way, and that's gonna be a big deal.
Nah, man, I want Severo to be the fucking
He's gonna
champion.
die. He's gonna die. But anyway,
Don't you
we find
fucking put
out
that out there.
we find out that Apollo kidnaps Mustang, and that's a no-go. And one of the hilarious things is like Darrow had been learning about all of the proctors and how their invisibility works, how their invincibility works, how their grab boots work. And he knocked out and kidnapped the Proctor of Mars.
Yeah. Which we
Which
find
is
out is
so
also
cool.
Severo's dad.
Severo's dad. And it's hilarious because he gets the grab boots and he looks at Severo and he's like, we're going to go take the castle of Proctors. And Severo's like, where'd you get those
Olympus.
grab boots? And he goes, I got them from your daddy. And Severo's like, what a bitch. Also, one of the coolest moments of the entire fucking
I
story.
love Severo.
Severo's great. He's like, what a fucking, my dad, he got beat out by
He's like,
you?
oh, you
What a
figured it out? Yeah, he's a fucking pixie.
What a piece of shit.
He got beat by an 18-year-old boy. What
Dude,
a dumb fuck.
fucking Darrow he beats the shit out of all these proctors.
Yeah. He literally
I,
like has a fight in the air with Apollo, like just fucking stabs him in the eye.
I think my favorite is Vulcan, who is very Vulcan, like Warhammer
Yeah.
Vulcan, where he's like, yeah, I mean, I'm just here. Like, I'm not a part of any schemes. I'm just trying to do my job. So like you can kidnap me, but like yeah, go ahead. So like Vulcan gets kidnapped when he's like not even a part of any of this. He's not a part of you don't his house isn't mentioned at all. Classic Salamander's move.
Yep. We found
Um
out that Pierce Brown is a Warhammer fan.
he just forgets about Vulcan, which is so classic.
Yep.
Yeah, so he pretty much kidnaps all of the proctors. The only one he lets like go unkidnapped, even though he kidnapped them, is Mars's proctor.
Yeah. He's just chilling in jail in a
Just
random
chilling.
castle. His fucking face just beat in.
We find out big surprise, not a surprise at all, by the way. I knew this like probably 5 chapters before it happened. But did you feel the same way?
With Mustang.
Yes.
I didn't think sister. I thought like betrothed.
Oh, I 100% thought sister. Like a
I mean, I knew
while
there was like
before.
something. I wasn't sure like how
When
they knew
she's
each other, but I was 100% convinced they knew each other.
when she started talking about daddy's expectations, and
Yeah.
then when the jackal said the exact same
Yeah, the
thing
same
that
sentence.
Mustang
Yeah.
said, I was like, oh, they're brother sister.
Yeah. I knew there was some relation,
Well,
but I wasn't sure
Cassius had
which.
talked about previous that
Oh, we
the
didn't talk about this either. When Titus got killed, he's a
who?
red. Titus.
Oh yeah, I mean yes. Turns out Titus was a red, which is a weird revelation.
I mean, on the second read, you pick up a lot of the cues.
Oh, I'm sure you do, but I think it's a weird revelation in the fact that the Sons of Ares sent multiple agents.
You, I mean, they said that they tried several times.
In my opinion, I think that's an incredibly bad idea because if you send multiple agents, you're risking more that one gets caught. And if one gets caught, the whole thing is fucked because the security gets like 20 times percent higher. You
Yeah,
get what I'm
but
saying?
yeah, also I just had to like, what if they don't pass the passage, you know?
Well, yeah, but the concept is like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but they don't know what the passage is. No one knew what the passage was.
No one knew shit.
No one, yeah, no one. So, like, I think it's weird that you would try to infiltrate with multiple individuals because if one individual gets caught, it heightens security. I mean, this is just like Insurgents 101.
Yeah. I mean, when you find out like who like found Titus, it makes sense.
Oh, I'm sure it's what's her face.
Yeah.
Yeah, but uh, like
I did.
it's just like a bad
Ares is not
strategy.
organized.
Ares is a terrible organization. And Darrow is just like the dude that's like, I'm glad I'm the one thing that worked out because hopefully I can fix it, but also he's fucked up.
Very fucked up, yep.
So my hope is in Sevatar.
Agreed.
So yeah, he takes all these proctors out, learns that Mustang is actually the brother or the sister,
Twin.
the
Twin
twin
sister.
of the jackal, and he goes all in arms, and Mustang brings the jackal to him in chains. He's worried that Mustang is gonna come back to him in full force. And like, damn, what do you think about Mustang as a character? What are your thoughts on this? Is she manipulative, or do you think she likes Dara?
I don't know. I like what they did with her character here because I feel like a lot of
Me too.
things, like you
Me
would
too.
expect her, oh, she joins her brother, and then
Me
they
too.
fight Dara. Instead, she's like, nah, fuck that guy.
100%. The question that I have about Mustang is she so convinced by Darrow that she's willing to abandon society, or just her brother?
I think we'll see.
We'll see. I think that's a big deal. I think that's a big thing. I like
Yeah,
Mustang as a character. She's
I do too.
incredibly smart. Incredibly
Yes,
smart.
I agree. I like it. I'm curious to see where the second one goes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a
I'm
few chapters
like
in. It's interesting.
14 chapters in. There's a. I can't wait for you to read the duel because the duel's fucking sick.
Excited for the duel.
Cool. What else
Oh,
is there? Anything else?
well, yes. Last thing that happens is everyone gets offered a tutelage based off of how they
Oh
did
yeah.
on the in the whole thing. Um, and Darrow gets offered.
Sorry, there's
Yeah,
a
there's
wild
Theo.
animal.
Darrow gets offered the tutelage of Augustus, who's the
Yep.
person he wants to
Well,
kill more than anyone.
yeah, and kind of too, because he was like, "Look, you obviously know my secret, and I cannot have other people know my secret. I also apparently am really bad at having children."
Because he
So,
knows, yeah, because Darrow knew that everyone lied to get the Jackal to win, and then the Jackal lost.
yeah,
Yeah.
but he does talk about. He's like, "Yeah, apparently my seed doesn't work very well, so
Apparently, the
I
shit just
adopt
doesn't
the little
work.
boys out of the institute."
Nuts. And it's weird because he talks about how like Bellonia, who this is another thing that we didn't talk about. When Darrow reconquered Mars, this was throwing me for a loop. I 100% because they talked about how Rourke was like, yeah,
Look,
Cassius is fucked up.
yeah,
He does not like what he did to you. And then he gets to Cassius, and Cassius is like, we have a blood feud. I'm gonna kill you eventually. I'm like, damn. Yeah, he spits on him. I'm like, damn. Well, what? Like, I really hope like that's the moment. Like Pierce Brown, like Pierce. I love that you just subverted my expectations, but let it come full circle, please. Like, let this fucking be a brotherhood eventually. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like, I would
yeah.
love for a Darrow Cassius fucking team up now. I'm in like the teenage drama phase. I feel like a teenage girl reading the books. Cassius is the man. They're gonna hook
He's
up.
so hot.
He's so hot. He talks to all the girls.
But we all know Severo is the one that deserves all the love.
Severo's the
The true
man.
MVP of everything.
Severo's the man. He's also a furry.
Get off it, man. Just get off
Dude, I'm telling you what,
it.
Severo. If you could see his Google search history.
It's actually really funny. In the next, this is not really a spoiler. Like the next book, like he like sends pictures of like unicorns to Tara. Like
Yeah.
that's it. It's like what the fuck.
We've
So maybe
all
you're right.
played. We've all played The Witcher. We know what that's about. We know what that's about. Come on now. Sarah likes to fuck animals. Hey, more power to him, dude.
Severo can do whatever he wants. He's a
He can do
badass.
whatever he wants. If he can kill me, you can fuck whatever you want, dude.
Amen, brother. Cool. Anything else?
I don't think so. What a great episode. I am officially drunk.
Hell yeah, brother.
No
Ranking
one would have known.
or rating? What do you rate it?
Mm. I rate this book. If you've read The Hunger Games, this is better than The Hunger Games, but it's the same thing.
That's not a number, brother. Give me a number.
This is going to be tough. This is the first ranking we've had outside of Lord of the Rings, outside of
Warhammer. So
okay,
fresh ranking, man.
so two rankings. One is enjoyment, one is if you should read. Right?
It was personal enjoyment and importance to the series before. I don't think that really counts here because it's only 6 books.
Just
7.
personal enjoyment.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I hated this book when I first started, but it really fucking it kept me. It drew me in
Dude,
like
I'm
a
telling you, the
teenage
second
girl.
one, I have been like nonstop. Like
Okay,
I've been like really into it.
okay, so I'm gonna rank this a solid 8 on personal enjoyment.
Oh, I did
8.
not expect an 8 out of you.
Should you read it? 4. Don't. My opinion is of this is it's a better written version of Hunger Games. Do I like it's a teenage drama. And the thing is, like, if you don't like teenage dramas, don't read it. And I don't like teenage dramas, but now I'm fucking hooked. It's like I'm watching it's like I'm watching Vampire Diaries. It's like I gotta know what
This got
Stefan
to
is
be better than
doing.
that.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. How well does Pierce Brown do? Is it gonna be interesting? Golden Sun so far. I mean, I'm only like 8 chapters in. It's
Yeah,
okay.
you're like
We'll
at
see
like
what
the
goes.
one part that like I'm not that into. Literally, I'm pretty sure like the next chapter you're gonna be like, oh shit, the gala. One thing's like really kick up.
I'm pumped.
Actually, even kind of right before that,
Tell
you
me
see
more.
someone
What are
saying,
your rankings? What are your rankings?
I was actually gonna give it a 7.
Out of
Um,
enjoyment?
yep.
Okay, so here's the thing about me. Like, I couldn't put it down.
No, I understand. I mean, I finished the book in a week.
I know I finished mine in 5 days. Yeah. And the thing is, it's good, but you're also like it's like one of those like
Yeah, it's not like
it's a dirty feeling of enjoyment, you know what I mean? It's like
yeah. I mean, this isn't a like a what's the word? Not
masterpiece.
literature. Literature.
I don't
Literacy
know.
genius. I don't. This isn't gonna fucking like. I don't know the fucking words, man.
I don't know either.
Ah, man, it's gonna bother the fuck out of me.
It's not a masterpiece
No,
of
not literary. I don't know. Yeah, it's not. It's not gonna be fucking taught in schools. All
no,
right.
no, no. Yeah.
This isn't
But
gonna
it'll
change society.
but I'll tell you what, there's gonna be a group of girls that petition to have this in the library. That's what's gonna
Maybe.
happen.
All
You're gonna
knows. I'm Team Dara.
I'm not.
Actually, I'm Team Severo, but
No,
I'm assuming it has to be
I'm
between
team
Dara and Cassia.
Rourke.
Roke,
I'm
Roke.
team Rourke. That dude's figured it out. That dude knows what's up. If you just followed Rourke's advice every time, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Also, didn't die. We thought he was dead, and then he just kind of showed up, and he's like, "What's up, dude? I'm still here."
And then
Where
in
was he?
book he was surviving. That's
Like
what he was
we
doing,
never
dude.
like hear like where he was. He was just like, "Yo, man, I'm still here. What's up?"
Rogue's figured everything out. Every time Rogue makes a suggestion, follow that suggestion.
Amen.
Here's Rogue.
Roke.
And
All right, man.
Sevatar.
Severo. Cool. Well, next week we'll be back with Golden Sun. As always, hit us up on Discord. Find that pin to our Twitter at Heresy Lodge. Email us at theheresiolodge@gmail.com. Check us out on YouTube at the Heresy Lodge. Check out our merch. Those are the things. You guys have a good one.